Federal Labor has confirmed their intention to vote against a same-sex marriage plebiscite, despite pressure from the Turnbull Government. Opposition leader Bill Shorten has cited the emotional impact that a plebiscite would have on the LGBT community, as well as their families, as a primary motive for blocking a national vote on marriage equality.
The caucus unanimously resolved to oppose the marriage plebiscite.
The ALP are not alone in their opposition. A recent poll commissioned by Australian Marriage Equality indicated that 53% of Australians preferred a parliamentary vote, while 68% opposed government funding for the plebiscite. The poll also revealed that a vast majority of Labor and Green supporters, as well as a majority of undecided voters, believed achieving government legislation on same-sex marriage in 2016 to be very important. Numerous polls suggest that a majority of Australians support same-sex marriage, and that a plebiscite would most likely result in victory for the Yes campaign. However, opponents of the plebiscite argue that a No campaign would likely encourage bigotry towards LGBT people, and provide alleged hate groups with a platform through which to spread misinformation and prejudice.
It's a proposition for a plebiscite that would be non-binding, and it is a proposition that will enable the worst elements, the most hateful elements of Conservatives in this country to come out and to traduce you, to traduce your families, to traduce your relationships and your very right to exist.
It's right at your footsteps. Hell, it's right before you, but you can't.
We've had multiple groups, including 2010-18, the Safe Schools Coalition. We've had groups like Australian Marriage Equality, and in fact most of the queer collectives, not all the queer collectives around Australia here in the unis that at least I'm in contact with, all saying this is a terrible idea, and if you're not willing to listen to the people who is this going to hurt the most when we tell you this is a bad idea, you need to step back and do some research for yourself and find out why we hate it. If we go into the plebiscite, what you're doing is you're damaging the well-being of Australians who are trying to fit in or who are trying to find themselves within this gender and sexuality journey. What you're doing is you're giving money, not only wasting money that necessarily shouldn't be spent anyway, but you're now wasting money on something that's non-binding, you're wasting money on something that's going to actively hurt Australians like you and me.
The Queer Collective were one of many organisations present at a pro-gay marriage rally held at Sydney's Town Hall following the recent federal election. Hundreds of Australians, young and old, came out in support of same-sex marriage and the Safe Schools program.
I just think marriage equality should happen. In so many other countries across the globe, marriage equality is happening, and for a Western civilization, it should be happening in Australia.
We've had a majority of people supporting marriage equality for 8 years in Australia, 8 long years. The population has been well ahead of the government, and every year that has been ignored by the people who get to make the decisions. Putting up a plebiscite or a referendum, what's the point of this? It's to delay the question, to pretend that it's more complicated than it really is.
Despite the objections of both the opposition and advocacy groups, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull remains confident that the plebiscite may still come to pass.
We urge the senators, we urge the Senate, all the members of the Senate, including the Labor Party, to support that bill and give the people their say on the 11th of February, and then the matter will be decided by the Australian people.